video demonstration, I'm going to show you how to make quite a simple card using the JND384 Jane's bow. And this has been designed to give you lots of different options. So you have this beautiful striped section. So I'll bring in the idea of the card that we're making. You see, you get this beautiful striped bow with these two sort of tails on it. But of course, you can actually also use it plain to give you a plain bow. You can use the die on its own or with the strip to give you a ribbon strip which matches those stripes. You can do striped or plain. You can just do simple plain or smaller stripes. So you have a larger and a smaller striped tail on there. And you also have a beautiful sort of fishtail tail on there and a smaller one again if you want to make just a smaller bow. And you also have a larger centre if you want to give it a really big knot on there. So there's lots of different options in here. But what we're going to focus on today is just making a nice simple striped bow card. So I've brought in here, I'm going to cut the main body in pink and the main body in white. So just to show you, I'm going to take a strip of white card, and this is about 2 inches wide. And we simply need to tape together the insert and the outer die, and we tape those down to a piece of white card, and we run that through our machine and we cut that, and that gives us this. And if you can see, it's been designed with a slightly thicker stripe there so that you actually know exactly where it folds, so that when it folds it gives you a perfect lining up stripe so you can do it on its own. We will then take the larger tail and the larger outside tail, and again put those two together and line them up on a piece of scrap white card. Now I'm using coconut white essential card from Craft Artist. So we'll take that, and you want to cut that, and for this we're going to cut 2. So nice and simple. And then you simply need to cut yourself the plain panels. So we'll take the plain die and again tape that down to a strip of pink, again cut to about 2–2.5 inches, and we will cut that. And we do exactly the same with the 2 tail pieces to give ourselves 2 pieces tails to go behind that, and again using scrap card. Now the easiest way to glue these together is with spray glue. So I'm just going to take these pieces off and spray glue these, obviously off camera because I don't want to get glue everywhere. So I'm just using Craft Mount by 3M, which I find is the best spray glue that I've used. And we simply lay that over the top of the bow, meeting it up like that to give us the beautiful piece. And we do exactly the same with the 2 white pieces with the tail piece. So again, easiest way to do that is to get it on there at the bow and pull it down to the end. So on there with a sort of knot piece and down on there. And again, those would look beautiful, just sort of 3 of those in a row. You can make rosettes and things with these. They're beautiful to make lots of different pieces. So to put our bow together, we're going to start, and the best way I've found to do this is to use power tape. So this is power tape by Craft Artist because it's going to be under tension, so we want to keep it nice and strong. So I'm just going to take a little bit of blue power tape and put that across. And if you want to do this with a normal, use a red line tape. Don't use finger lift tape, it won't survive. So we're just going to cross our 2 little tails to give us our little beautiful tail pieces like that. And then for our centre, all we're going to do is take our pokey tool and just stroke our pieces over. And you'll see there how those fit, but obviously that needs something to hold it. And to hold it, we will actually use this die, which gives us our centre. So what I've actually done is I've cut that in white, so you get the white piece, you get a little outside line, and you get 2 pieces which can decorate and stack on to give you more of a 3D look. Obviously this time we're going for quite a simple, and I've done exactly the same here, cut in pink. So it's just a case of popping the die through onto a scrap piece of card and that will give us these pieces here. So nice and easy to do. And all I've done for this one is simply put the white rim onto the pink knot, just like that. So I've glued those together, and that's all I'm using for this one. So I'm just going to turn that over. Again, I'm using power tape. So I would use power tape or a red line tape. You need something because it's going to be under tension that's relatively strong. So we're just going to take that piece off. And all we do is take our bow and place that evenly there in the center. You'll then take another piece of power tape and pop that across that join, just there. I'm using 9mm power tape. So we will take that off, and we'll then meet each of the bows onto that point. And then we take a final little piece of power tape. And again, you can do this with glue, but you would need to peg it down, which is never sensible to do. And we're just going to twist over our little locking piece. And there you see we have our beautiful 3D bow. We can then attach that onto our center, just like that. And we have our lovely large bow. Nice and simple and easy. So to make this into a card, I've taken a square of white, again coconut white card, and this is just 5x5, and I'm going to take the strip die that does the stripes, and I'm simply going to pop that down evenly. I'm using 2 lines on my mat to mark it, and we simply tape that down, and you run that through your die cutting machine, which will give you this beautiful piece here. And all I've done on the back is to add a little bit of foam tape. So I've added 2mm foam tape onto the back of here. And what I've done is put one on each strip on each side and one on each piece of the cuts to support it. And I've another piece of card just cut a slightly smaller than 5x5 in the same pink, so that none of it pops out on the front. And then all we're going to do is to take that and flat glue that onto a mat, and this has been cut at 5¼ by 5¼ and then a little pink mat on there at 5�3/8 by 5�3/8. And it's simply then a case of taking a nice 6x6" card blank, so a standard commercially bought card blank. And I'm going to remove the foam tape, so I've added more foam tape onto the back of here. And before you cut this, if you want to add a sentiment stamp directly on, you would stamp it directly on. We're just going to mat that onto our 6x6 card blank. And again, we're then going to take a little bit of power tape, and what I would do is to run the power tape all the way along. So I'm running that all the way along the back, so it's covering our little tails, but it's also covering our bow. And we'll take that off, and we'll simply add that over the top of our stripe, and use your pokey tool just to press it down inside underneath each bow so it's nicely secured. And there we have a beautiful large sort of effective card, but relatively simple, made using the beautiful Jane's bows. For more hints, tips, ideas and inspiration, why not visit the Crafting with John next door and Crafts2 group on Facebook. Enjoy.